Hello, everybody. This is Joshua Hayes at BigWayTrading.com coming to you with the July 24th stock market wrap up for you to use on the 27th. First off, I want to say, guys, thank you for putting up with my problems. I do have multiple sclerosis. Now, Neil Cavuto also has multiple sclerosis, but God bless that man. I don't think he probably has what happens to me. Something very odd happens to me, and my legs swell. I used to be a big athlete, so whenever this happens, this is very mentally debilitating. Also, it's extremely painful. Now, whenever my legs swell, and I have these MS attacks, there's a variety of like 8 different medications these guys make me take. And I got to be honest with you, I don't think any of them are good. Not a single one. So I'm going to go ahead and probably drop all the medications and hope that if there is even another attack, I won't have to do anything. But the last 2 weeks, guys, were seriously hell on earth for me. It was very hard to walk, move around, and whenever you live on a very small island like Maui and then you're confined to your home, which is also your work area, because remember, I don't own a house yet because I'm not settled. That will be happening in the next 1 to 2 years as we go to move to Texas. So you got to remember, I'm not in a gigantic 30,000, 3,000 square foot place. You know, I'm in a condo. So, gosh, you feel trapped. You're around your work all the time, and you can't think straight because you're on all these weird medications that just don't seem to play right. Plus, you're in constant pain, so you can't think correctly. So, first off, I just want to thank everybody for dealing with what we had to deal with. The site was done, at least on my longs and shorts part, but I wasn't always able to give you the analysis, and even earlier on some days when we had a lot of stocks, no charts to post. And if you guys don't know why, come on. Could you do that amount of work and enter your own orders and manage your own portfolios that I have to manage? No, there's no way. So it was either manage my portfolios, make money, save money, or post charts. So I had to do what was right. But luckily now, hopefully, everything will be back to normal. I pray. If not, I'll let you know. But I'm very, very happy that nobody got really upset at me. But guys, you got to realize I love you. I want everybody to learn how to invest on their own. I don't believe anybody should ever need somebody else to trade. $5 a trade or less, and then hopefully not a whole lot of account fees is all you need out there. You don't need anybody making the decisions for you if you have the time, and that means just at least 30 minutes a day. Give me 30 minutes a day, 7 days a week, and in 2 years, you won't need me. You won't need anybody. Also, Investors Business Daily will do this too. But the bottom line is the market's bullish, and even while I was sick, I told you to remain bullish. My problem is as the market goes along, look at the direction the volume goes. Here, let me go ahead and print this screen really quick and throw it over here to this Now look really quick what the volume's doing right here. Look at the volume like here on the Dow Jones Industrial Average recently. See how it's going down as the index moves up? Do you see how also from that big day how it's going down while the index is moving up overall? And as you can see, it does that a lot. It did that here. It did that in May. And as you can see, it's all over the charts. It's all over the charts where you can see volume gets lower. So normally on the way up, I like to see it where I'm doing this with the volume, the opposite. So that's always a worrisome deal to me. However, we're in a bullish uptrend, and that's good. So let's go look at the NASDAQ. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to print the screen of the NASDAQ and then throw it here in the paint so we can take a really, really good look at it. So here's the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's been in a beautiful uptrend. I'm going to draw the line. And as you can see, you're kind of just like going along here. Perfection. You can even draw the trend line going up this way, still holding on. You can see the breakout above this resistance right here. And when it broke out of the resistance point back here in July, right there in this area, you can see it just kept on going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. So I'm going to go ahead and undo all that. Bring it back. Oh, cool. So that's what it looks like. So as you can see, it looks great. But once again, the same thing with the volume I notice. Notice that we have higher volume here, which is good. But then after that, you know, we get the below average volume, which is good on the base. But then on the rally, Yes, I do like how we have 3 days of above average volume on the way up, but look at all the days of below average volume. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and actually then 8 right there. So we had a lot of below average volume days that we rallied, and with so many in a row, look how many in a row for the NASDAQ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 straight up days in a row doesn't give you a whole lot of chance to base out and have a lot of beautiful charts. And when that happens, you end up having little accidents like, I'm going to go back, refer to it, ADY last week. A lot of people were very bullish, and even if you bought from here, you're still leaving with a slight victory, so congratulations if you bought it on the day before the breakout. But if you bought it the day after the breakout, even at its lowest point, you still lost. Let's see, because I can't even get any lower than that, so I'm going to have to figure this out in my head. So you still lost over 15%, even if you bought the gap up in May. And I remember a lot of people telling me I was silly for not buying this stock, and then it got up to, I think it was up about as much as 50% in less than a month. And a lot of people called me foolish. I know a lot of those people did not sell. And so their 50% gains, or actually if they would have bought the day before the breakout, 133% gains, are either now 15% losses or they're only 8% gains. So while that happens, I'm in stocks like CAR, which are still up from the buy point right here of 40%. But what bothers me about this market is stocks like ARST. ARST is one of these beauties that I went long that was high canceling quality. Just beautiful. Look at all the green on that chart. The only problem is a V-ish base. Now look at this. That's a V base right there. That's never good. Still, very pretty. But for a chart to break out and work at first and then reverse like that, that always makes me say something is wrong. So I continue to think that while we're bullish and we got to go with the uptrend, I think it's almost impossible for me to go long heavily stocks here until we have another basing pattern like here in July or like here in June or like here in April or here in May. So in those areas in the NASDAQ, if we can have rebases, then I'll probably be a lot more happier. Let's see how my certain leaders, Zhong Kong, I mean, when I first went long it, as you can see, it gave me a very quick, after this big move up, 103%. And let me see, even to the very first high. Yep, 84%. And since then, it's kind of moving up ever so slowly, but still moving up 123%. I'm waiting for more stocks like this. Whenever I get more bases like this, see how, let me squish this up a little bit. See how nice and flat this base is so far being made by Kongjiang? Look at how nice and flat. And look at all the green. Now, I know it lost green, but boom. Boom. Look at the volume surge. Huge. Almost max green bop. You go along the next day, and of course, the market, being as crazy as it does, doesn't work out completely, which means you would have sold half right there, like I did. But then, of course, it works out. So everything's good. So while you sold 50% with 13% loss, your other 15% now has a 9% gain, and so you're about ready to make it back. But still, since the very first buy, things are still good, 123%. But I'm waiting for stocks like this to show up again. Flat bases, as you can see here. Let's go to the flat bases. Look at all the huge accumulation in the middle, and look at all the max screen bop. I'll stop it at the max screen bop just because this is what I'm looking for. So you bring me a base like this that looks just like Kongjiang does here, with all this huge accumulation, with this max screen bop, while the market pulling back, and then when the market starts to rally, it actually breaks out like right there. And with the market rallying, instead of pulling back like it did here on July 8th, and instead just continues to go, I'll be getting extremely long this stock market rally because these kind of stocks are what I'm looking for. But they're not out there because there's too many short bases. But once they are back, I'm back. All right, I'm going to go and wrap it up here. I'm going to go into more detail into part 2 with our new buys and our sells. And it feels good to be back, and I thank you, everybody, for letting me deal with what I got to deal with. I'm so sorry, everybody. You know that I have the energy to put this in every day. But when my legs swell, guys, it's embarrassing. When I look in the mirror,
It's embarrassing. It's going to take a while. I used to be a little athlete. I wasn't a huge athlete, but I was in great shape, and I used to surf 3 to 6 hours every day, even when I moved to Hawaii, and things have changed, and I got to get used to it. And I'm sorry. Sometimes it's going to take a little while to get over, but I got to deal with it. At least, as you can tell, I've pulled back on the cursing, which is part of the anger, which means I'm beginning to accept what is happening to me. And trust me, if it was happening to you, you'd understand it takes a while. It'd be just like finding out you have cancer. It's not nearly as bad, what I have, as cancer, but obviously it's a shock and it takes a while to get through. So anyway, study that price chart that's right in front of your face, KONG. Study that max green bop that's right in front of your face. And trust me, let's get long these stocks. Aloha.